Welcome back, everyone. Monday, the 16th of March, 2026. We are back live across the world. Joining me this evening is the one and only Richard Inman. Richard, good evening. How are you, mate?
I'm great, mate. All the better for seeing you, Paul. All the better for seeing you, brother.
Oh, thank you, Richard. It's nice to hear someone say that, at least.
We've got to share the love, mate.
Oh, there's not a lot going around.
There's not.
I'll tell you what, right? There is. I've been... this weekend in Benidorm has been crazy. I've been stopped every 5 minutes, people coming over and saying hello. But I've got to tell you, Richard, there's one thing that they all say to me. Right?
What's that?
It's really, well, see if you can, I'm not joking now. This is not a joke, right? This is serious.
Sack Richard.
No. Anyone in the chat as well, right? So today alone, I bumped into about six different people. Mostly couples that have come here, mostly couples that are living here now. They've come here in the last year. And see if you or any of the people watching now can guess the number one thing that people are saying to me.
What is it? What they want? Is it what they want?
No. It's what they're saying to me about the UK.
Well, they're probably saying we're in big trouble.
Well, it's similar to that. Let's just see if anyone in the chat, can pick up what they're saying. Look, at the end of the day, exactly. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is the most common thing that people are saying to me. That we're done. That's the most common thing that people are saying. We're done. Well, now, I don't agree with that yet, but it's getting bloody close.
Well, it's in our hands, Paul.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yes, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And, all you need is some sensible heads, a plan, and people that are brave enough to execute the plan.
And about 15 million people.
No, not really. Not really. You don't need... If you've got a good, sensible plan, you don't need a lot of people to do it. You just need the right people.
Well, I hope you're right, Richard. It's the number one thing that people say to me, and I try and instill a little bit of positivity and say, look, not yet. We've got a chance. There's still a way. Blah blah blah. But that's, I'm just passing on what they say to me, and it's the most reoccurring thing.
It's a very, very defeatist way of looking at things. And look, Paul, the flack we get, what this has cost people in this movement, it's cost a lot of us a lot, right? But you don't give up because do you give up before even firing a shot?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking. I'm saying that metaphorically, right? But
I get it. Yeah,
but
I get it.
Do you just give up? Oh, we haven't even got into a fight yet. And obviously the video will play later on, and what we'll talk about later on. I think what we've got to do, Paul, we've got to be realistic about what the fight is. We've got to be realistic about what we're facing, and we've got to be very honest with people.
Yeah.
That if we don't prepare to make sacrifices, we've no chance of winning. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
I don't think we're finished. I don't believe we're finished for a minute.
No, I hope not. But I'll tell you now, mate, we're on the brink, I think. Michael says can't do nothing abroad. Sorry, Michael, you're absolutely wrong. Tommy's abroad. I'm abroad. We're both doing things. You certainly can't do anything. You have to do something. We're all trying our best.
Paul, I've just come off an hour and a half meeting about the 16th of May. I'm not going to go into details. There's nothing really confidential, but I'm not going to go into details because it wouldn't be professional to do that. But 16th of May. 16th of May is, that's a line in the sand. It's another line in the sand. It's another stand that people can take. So people can get involved. They can, book their tickets. They can book their flights. They can book their trains, book the hotels.
Yeah.
Get to London for the 16th of May. And Paul, if I could, mate, if I could drop a link in just to Tommy's Urban Scoop page, because they've asked me to do this, just because they need money. I mean, I gave a big chunk myself yesterday, and I couldn't really afford to do it, but I thought, well, at the end of the day, you've got to do it. So if you could pop that on the screen there, Paul.
Where is it?
I've just dropped it in the chat there, mate. I've just dropped it in the chat.
Hold on a second.
It's under Counter Media or Richard Inman. Yeah, and you just drop that on the screen.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Now, believe you me, this event is going to cost a ridiculous amount of money, because it needs to cost a lot of money, because what we need to put on to keep people safe and make sure everybody can see and hear everything that's going on. Because obviously last time, by the grace of God, we pulled it off and we didn't have any problems, and it was down to just the excellent work of the security, the stewards, the police, and everybody that was on the ground everybody that was involved in organising that last event went absolutely the extra mile. We're going to do the same on this one, but it absolutely needs massive support. Absolutely needs massive support. So get onto the Urban Scoop website and support that event. Because at the minute, Paul, there's nothing. There's no other show in town apart from Unite the Kingdom.
Yeah,
and dare I say the pledge. Yeah,
there's always people moaning about raising money, but these events don't operate for free, right? That's the bottom line. If anyone could put on an event for 1 million people plus for nothing, get in touch. We'll put you in touch with Tommy's team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, this event, I'll tell you what it's going to cost. It's going to cost north of £500,000. I think we're looking at something like £600,000.
Wow.
Because we're talking multiple screens, multiple fibre optic links, massive PA systems all the way through the centre of London. I'm not going to say where it's going to be, all the way through the centre of London. So it's a massive, massive effort, and 100% we need people to get involved. And look, if you can't go to the event, support it. If you can't support it, tell people about it. It is the hill to die on. It is the hill to die on. And it's going to be my what do you call it? My swan song, Paul. That's it. I'm gonna walk off into the sunset after this event. I keep saying that.
It's not your general. Let's just hope it's not your general customer.
No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be Little Bighorn. Well, you never know. It depends if I end up on the wrong side of the river. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot going on in London that day. Put it this way.
Richard, I'm sorry, mate. It's a long, long time before you had a Little Bighorn. So don't worry about that. You'll be fine.
Ain't that the case, Paul? Ain't that the case?
Richard,
oh, mate.
We always have to lower the tone, don't we?
It's always you that does it. You're about as your mouth's about. It's the morality that comes out your mouth is about as low as a snake's belly. It's as simple as that.
Someone once said to me, "How low can you get?" I said, "Would you believe with Jack Russell?" There you go.
Is that Cockney rhyming slang, Paul?
It's living in Benidorm. That's what it is, mate. I'm surrounded.
Oh yeah, because you weren't like this before you went.
No, mate. Now I'm surrounded by unruly Brits. Right? They've all had enough. They're all seeing Tommy and Keir Starmer's a wanker, and I mean, honestly,
well, I hope they've all got the flights. I hope they've all got the flights booked to get back to London for the 16th of May. In fact, what they can do if they can't get some flights, just get down to Calais. Right? There's loads of rubber dinghies all along the beach there. Put one of those little, what do they call them? Those little Palestinian bandages around your head.
Yeah.
Grow a bit of a beard. Start spitting a lot. You'll get on a dinghy. You'll get across free. No problem.
Yeah. Wendy, none of us can afford not to support the 16th.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we reckon? Numbers, Richard. What are you
Who
thinking?
knows, Paul? Look, do you know what, Paul? You can never tell. It depends. I mean, this is what I would say to people, right? Okay. If you're hacked off with the boats, okay, come on the 16th of May. If you're worried about Keir Starmer, the merchant banker, Keir Starmer, if you're worried about the merchant banker, then come on the 16th of May. If you're concerned about losing your freedom of speech, come on the 16th of May. If you're concerned about net zero and the cost of living, come on the 16th of May. If you're concerned about farming, come on the 16th of May. If you're concerned about the persecution of our SAS heroes, come on the 16th of May. And I could go on. If you're concerned about two-tier policing, if you're concerned about why those two Hallions that beat the crap out of police officers in Manchester Airport are still not in prison, come on the 16th of May. If you're concerned about the hate marches, come on the 16th of May. If you're concerned about Al-Quds, come on the 16th of May. If you're sick and tired of foreign-born people parading round our streets, shouting Allah Akbar and globalise the Intifada, come on the 16th of May. If you're sick of hearing Bob Villan shouting death, death to whoever he wants to shout it to, and not getting arrested, come on the 16th of May. So for all of those reasons, come on the 16th of May. Okay.
I am employing the help of a solicitor tomorrow, Richard.
Yep.
They're going to be contacting the authorities back home to see
if you're a person of interest.
If I'm a person of interest.
I mean, Paul, you know what I mean?
I didn't an interesting person. I didn't mind person.
Well, if they asked if you're an interesting person, you'd have no problem getting back in the country, mate.
That's exactly it, right? The only thing is, Richard, I'm not sure who I've got to look over my shoulder for, the left one or the right one. I'm like,
well, this is the whole thing, mate. I mean, look, you're going to need to bring Danny with you with his big uppercuts.
And the way things have been going, mate, I think I might have to bring Tyson Fury with me.
And Mike Tyson as well. Get Big Frank out of retirement. I tell you what, I was watching. Do you ever go through phases where you watch the old boxing matches, Paul?
All the time. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I watched Marvelous Marvin and flipping and Tommy Hearns. Marvin Hagler.
Greatest first round ever.
Oh, mate, it was brutal. I mean, absolutely. But and then I watched Bruno and Tyson, right? And you see the flipping the actual build of Frank Bruno. I forgot how big he was. He was absolutely flipping huge, mate.
Big lad.
Just a pity he wasn't ruthless enough to smash the. But anyway, amazing fights though. Absolutely flipping amazing fights. Those two fights. And poor old Tommy Hearns got knocked out in that one. But yeah, I mean those old boxing matches. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that anymore, does it?
Richard, one thing he wasn't was poor. Tommy Hearns was.
Well, no, he wasn't poor.
Was not poor.
Is he still alive, Paul, or is he passed away? Or is he still alive?
I believe Tommy Hearns is. Marvin Hagler died.
Did Marvin Hagler die? Yeah. I knew one of them had died. Yeah. Man, they meted out some punishment though. I mean, it can't be good. You've got to pay a price for that later on in life, can't you?
Mate,
you know what I mean?
The 80s. I know we've digressed a bit. Don't worry, peeps. We'll get back.
We'll get back to it. Well, do you know what? We're reminiscing about better times. And Paul, those were the days where you didn't have to pay per view for the boxing.
Mate. You know what, mate? I've got to tell you, right? Me and my mates, we used to go up to Leicester Square.
Yeah.
For all the big fights. They didn't start till like 3-4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the 1980s. Need I say more? It was just magnificent.
Superb.
You could go to London, carry some money, wear a nice watch. No one was going to bother you.
Mate,
no hassle,
Well, I had the opposite experience. I went to see a Barry McGuigan fight in Hemlington, right? Place called Hemlington, just on the outskirts of Middlesbrough. It was a rough enough little estate. I don't know why we went there. We all went there in a couple of cars, and the fight started it must have been about 10:30. So I ordered something like 5 pints of Stella just for me at 10:30, right? So there's a whole crowd, you can imagine. So we watched this McGuigan fight, and of course we all poured outside after the fight, and the local lads realised we weren't locals, and man, it kicked off. It was absolute flipping carnage in the car park. I was only like 16, but mate, we all thought we were Barry Wigan and Tommy Hearns, rolled into one, mate. It was unbelievable, but it was it got a bit messy.
Good evening, Michael. Good to see you. Good evening, everyone. Where are we? 1,300 people watching so far. No doubt that will grow as the evening wears on. Richard,
because I'm on, Paul.
Exactly, mate. That's what it is. Richard, how could stay at the weekend?
Oh, mate, where'd you start on that one?
I mean, do you know what? To be honest with you, for the job that we do, I should really have been studying that all day, right? But I've got to tell you, I watched that absolute cretin, Bob Villan or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And a couple of other videos with middle-class white women dancing around in their kafirs or whatever they're called, I don't know, in black and white tea towels.
Yeah. Well,
I thought, my mental health can't take any more of this shit. I can't watch it, you know.
Paul, I'm the same. I mean, you know, it's grim. But, I mean, people have got to understand what's going on here. And this is why, you know, I'm not going to, you know, plough old furrows, but the biggest threat we face right now is the Islamization of the UK. That is the single biggest threat. It's been facilitated by the far left, and sadly it's been facilitated by people on the far right as well. The amount of far right people that are saying, oh, well, Islam's okay, it's quite a conservative religion, we think it's all right. No. There's nothing good. I'm sorry, guys, there's nothing good in the Quran and in the Hadith. Nothing, right? I'm just going to put that out there. And the fact that we've allowed this into our country, and the chaos and the devastation that it's caused already. I mean, goodness, when people finally start to really stand up to it, that's when it's going to get real. And we'll look at that later on, Paul. That's when it's going to get really interesting and really, really messy. But this is the fault of successive governments, Paul, since the 1960s. Just more and more. I mean, I knew about this in 1982.
Yeah.
You know, I took a stand against it in 1984. And I'm not that old, so, I mean, you can work out how old I was when I started standing up against it. So, people that lived in inner city, you know, northern towns have known about this since the 1980s, right? So, why does the government not know about it? Well, Paul, the truth is the government does know about it, but they've made a calculation that the cost of dealing with it is too much to pay. That's what successive governments have done. And in fact, actually, Paul, you asked about videos. If you just crack on there a minute, mate, I'm going to try and find a video for you.
Yeah, Laura says, anyone see what happened at the Zara shop? That was in Bristol. Laurie, yes, I did. Sorry, Laurie, not Laura. Laurie, I did see that. Yeah, vile. A young white girl being assaulted by a group of... well, I don't know what you call them, not migrants. I don't know who they were, but it certainly seemed like a racially motivated attack. Cheers, Jack. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. All the best. Kenny, cheers, Kenny. Tried to donate to UTK events through Urban Scoop, and it says page is blocked. We'll try again. Don't know what that is. We might have to inform the boys over there.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you give through Urban Scoop, the money will all go into one pot anyway. I would imagine. So I mean, I would you know, I don't know. I'm not part of that side of things. So yeah, I can't find this video, Paul. So we'll leave it. But there was a video by an ex-British soldier. Colonel Richard Kemp, and I'll tell you what he said. I mean, he basically said exactly what I've just said, Paul. He said, look, he says, the problem that the UK has got is that they refuse to deal with the problem, which is the radical Islamists and the Islamization of the UK. They're not dealing with it. They keep kicking the can down the road. And he said, this is Richard Kemp. And he said, there will be a civil war, you know, and that's, if he's saying that, then people should sit up and listen, because he's not some airhead. It's the same as that academic David Betts. David Betts has studied this all his life. David Betts is saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah, not a couple of pissheads.
No. So you know, and that's why when people are saying England's lost, England isn't lost. But I think you're quite right. We are in the last chance saloon. You know, and this is the single biggest issue. It's not about what an Englishman is. It's about what is happening with Islam in the UK. That's the immediate threat that we face right now. And you look at what happened in Iran in 1979. You look at what's just happened to Syria. You look at what's happened to Turkey. You look at, you know, the scale is unfortunately going in the wrong direction. You know,
not just here, Richard. It's all over, isn't it?
It's all over the world. It's happening in America. It's happening. It's the stuff that's happening in Nigeria, Paul, is absolutely obscene. And this is, in Nigeria, it is half Arab, half African tribesmen attacking black African Christians and murdering them.
Yeah.
So when people try and conflate this and say, oh, you're being racist, it's not about race. This is about a religious ideology that is fanatical, that wants to take over the world, and we are in the last chance saloon to stop this happening.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds really depressing and grim and all the rest of it. But that's just what we're up against, and people have got to wake up to that. They've got to realise what we're facing.
Few people saying your mic's a bit loud, Richard.
Sorry, Paul.
No, don't worry,
Yeah,
Richard.
no,
I've
sort that
adjusted
now,
it
mate.
for you. No, I've done it.
Is it turned down yet?
It should be all right now. Richard, before we go any further, we've got a video that we're going to play a little bit later. But my initial reaction is why hasn't Bob Villan been arrested for doing what he's doing?
Well, I mean,
let's turn it around. Let's say that was Tommy Robinson on the 16th of May, chanting "death, death to whoever." What do you think would happen?
I'd be arrested.
Of course he would. We know that.
And he has been arrested for far less. I mean, I think the charges have been dropped, but he was arrested and charged for saying "F Hamas." He just retweeted a post saying "F Hamas," and he was arrested and charged. So it's insane. So
I mean, why is he getting away with it, Richard? What's your opinion? Is it because he is a person of colour supporting the wrong side, or the side that he's supporting, people are afraid of him, they're afraid of it? Why is it?
It's two-tier policing, Paul.
Absolutely, of course it is.
It's as simple as that. The police have been captured by leftists and Islamists. So the communists and the Islamists are basically running the police, they're running the police in college, they're running the media, they're running the courts. And that's why we've got such a massive battle ahead of us. And that's why we need to find a way of coming together to defeat this. We've had all our little disagreements. People can hate me as much as they want. But I tell you now, we need to find a cause that we can unify around. And that means that you bring people from Restore, from Reform, from Advance, from UKIP, from no political affiliation whatsoever.
Yeah.
We bring them together. And Unite the Kingdom is the perfect medium for that. The pledge is the perfect... And I keep saying this. To people. We've got all the tools in the toolbox. You can have the political parties. Political parties will come and go, right? But what you need is people united around a common ideology and a common cause. Unite the Kingdom and the pledge give people that. And that's what I would encourage everybody to do. Sign the pledge. If we have 10 million people signed up to the pledge, we'll win. If we have 10 million people going into London on the 16th of May, well, that's going to cause the authorities a real problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we need to mobilise. What we need, Paul, is a common ideology that everybody, all right-thinking people in the UK can get behind. And we've got that. Me and you've been pushing this for 2 years, mate.
Yeah.
Pretty much as lone voices. And my challenge is to every other YouTuber, every other political party, get behind the pledge and start pushing the pledge out there. Because if that's used properly, it will work. Yeah, anyway. That's what you asked the question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Did you see the video? I don't know if you saw the video I did yesterday, probably not. But I did a video yesterday that featured that lad, Gary, getting pulled at the airport by 6 armed police officers. Have you not seen the video?
Seen it, mate. I played it myself this morning on my channel.
It's insane, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely insane. Now, I've been trying to find out exactly what the tweet was, and apparently it was a joke. Sorry, not a tweet. It was a Facebook
post. Yeah.
Apparently it was a bit of a Bernard Manning style joke, right?
Yeah.
And a 6 armed, they'll build it for him.
That's the joke, Paul, isn't it? And that arrogant sergeant. Did you see him?
And he's a sergeant, that's a sergeant.
He was the guy in charge, probably, right?
Yeah.
And the way he spoke to that guy's wife. I'm guessing it was his wife or his mom. I don't know whether it was his wife or mum or who it was, but anyway, the lady. The way he spoke to that lady. One, he was presuming guilt, which I thought in British law you presumed innocence.
Yeah.
He was presuming guilt. It was all over him. The arrogance and the condescension. And I thought, you know what, mate? See, when it comes to it, you're going to regret that. You're going to regret having that attitude, because if it happens to his daughter, or if it happens to his wife, or if it happens to one of his grandchildren, what's he going to do then? When he picked the wrong team, when he picked the wrong side.
Well, he'll probably blame us for stirring up trouble.
Oh, Paul, we get the blame for everything, mate. I mean, everything's our fault. Listen, everything's our fault.
Here's the thing, Richard. What struck me about his attitude was not just his attitude, the fact that he had 3 stripes on his arm, and he's probably got at least 20 years behind him in the force.
Yep.
if that's what 20 years experience buys you these days in the police service, then there's not a lot of hope left, is there?
There isn't, Paul. Was that
I mean, that
Manchester?
wasn't.
Was that Manchester, mate? Was it
I
Manchester?
think it was up that. It was up that way. It was in the
Yeah.
north somewhere.
I mean, there's an irony in that. If that was Manchester Airport, there's a real irony in that, isn't there? One of his colleagues gets chinned by an Islamist.
More than an irony. Would they speak to them that way?
Well, we saw what they did to let them go.
Yeah.
They're still not in prison, are they?
I think one of them is. One of them is.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, one of them
fair
is.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, again, the out and out treachery that was on view over the weekend in London. I just want these people gone, Richard. I don't want them in the country. They've got to go.
You can make mass deportations very, very easy, right? At the next march, after the march is finished, you have a lot of armed police officers and armed soldiers and lots of buses.
Yeah.
And you collect all the people who aren't British that are at those marches, all the foreigners who've come to this country.
No, Richard, sorry. Can we
get rid of the Brits as well?
Can
get rid of the lefties.
Yeah, can we include the wankers that are there from else? Yeah.
Yeah, let's send them to the most horrendous Islamic hellhole on the planet. All the lefties, right?
Send them to Palestine, mate. They
well, I wouldn't want to send them to Palestine because Palestine's quite peaceful at the minute, isn't it? Because I think pretty much everything's been flattened. But I would send them to Syria or somewhere. I don't know. Send them somewhere really horrible. Round up all the lefties as well. What do they call those? Is it shamar or something? What do they call that stupid thing they wear around the head? The tea cozy they wear around the head.
Yeah.
Anybody with one of them on, get them on the bus.
Get them out.
Get them on the bus. Get them down to some nice ferries. Get them across back to where they came from. Mag to grid. Get rid of them. Get rid of them, mate.
Here's the question. Whitaker says, "What will the march change, though?" And before I tell you what, Richard. Before you answer that, let me have a little go. I tell you what, Whitaker. I've had that feeling myself in the past. What does it achieve? What does it do? But I think now with the numbers that we had last time, right? That was something else. That was, if 20,000 people turn up, it's a championship football match attendance, isn't it? But when you got 1 million people plus, that's something else. Now, on this occasion, I think you could be looking at 3 times that amount, maybe even more. And at the end of the day, what that does is hopefully it breeds unity.
Yep.
It boosts morale. It gives people a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging.
Yep.
Because I think what the British and the English people in particular need now, and I don't often speak about the English people, I prefer to speak about the British people because I believe we're all brothers and sisters, right? But I think, what the British people are missing right now. Richard, you've frozen. I think you need to put 2 bob in the meter, mate. Let me kick you. Are you back? No, I can see you, Richard, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mate. That's better.
Okay.
That's better.
Got you.
Someone's just popped a message and it was better when they couldn't hear you, but we won't.
Okay, there we go.
That's better. I like that. That sounds good. So Whitaker, I think that no, I can't hear you now, Richard. You got to put that's better. I think what it is, Whitaker, I get what you mean. Politically, on the day, on the week, on the month, it might not change very much, but I think it's good for the soul. I think it's good for the nation's soul. And it gives a lot of people that perhaps can't even get to the march, might be elderly, infirm, unwell, whatever, can sit and watch that unfold in front of their eyes on their computer screen, on their TV screen and think, yeah, we've still got something. We've still, there's still, I'm not alone, because so many people feel alone.
Well, Paul, I mean, the last one, and anyone that was there that's in the chat will vouch for this. The sense of togetherness and unity and peace at that last event was phenomenal. Now, the media and the police have said, oh, there was violence, this, that, and the other. Well, there was violence because the police messed up. The reason there was violence was because the police put the left between the obvious. What you had overflow routes there. Because there were so many people, the police had to allow the marchers to overflow into different areas of the city, right? So they left the left. I mean, you were talking about the Battle of Little Bighorn. You were talking about Custer's Last Stand. Mate, Hope Not Hate, or whatever they were, Stand Up to Racism, whatever they call themselves. They call themselves these lovely flowery names, and they're all wrong uns. But the left were left behind. I mean, they were completely surrounded, and it was actually quite wonderful to behold. But the police should never have put the left in that position.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, if people had really wanted to get at the left, they would have got at the left. Because you're talking, maybe in that area alone, maybe 100,000 people that could have just gone through the police lines like a knife through butter.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't. They didn't, right?
No, because they were well behaved.
Because they were well behaved. But that's not the spin and the narrative that's been put on it. But I think, Paul, the atmosphere at that event, again, it's a lot of work for everybody that's involved, but the atmosphere at that event was absolutely fantastic. Never seen anything like it. It was tremendous. There was just a peace over the whole of London. You know, it could have been
I sincerely hope that this rhetoric that's been doing the rounds over the last 2 or 3 weeks doesn't deter non-white Indigenous people from attending, because the organisation is called Unite the Kingdom, and that's what we want to do. We want to unite everyone against everything that is evil.
Paul, if that happened, that would be totally against the ethos of the marches, right?
Yeah.
Because, look, we are going to address it, and we're going to look at it tonight. There is a massive problem with radical Islam, fundamentalist Islam, trying to take over wherever it lands, wherever it ends up. That infamous saying that horrible little critter from Birmingham said, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over, right? So that's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against the communists, the globalists, and the Islamists. We're not fighting against people because of the colour of their skin. We're not fighting against Hindus, Jews, Sikhs, people from the West Indies, people from Africa. All of those people are welcome at our marches, right? I can put my hand on my heart and say, ethnic minority people are welcome at our march, and if anyone sticks it on you at a march, there'll be 10 people sticking it on the person that's just stuck it on you, right? Because this nonsense about, well, we know what I'm talking. I'm not even going to go there tonight, Paul, but, the reality is people from all backgrounds are welcome at Unite the Kingdom, because what we want is, like we've always said, Paul, people with red, white and blue in their hearts.
In their heart. Richard, someone just said there, bring a tent. Would that be possible?
Well, let's just leave that for now. I mean, there's something going on there, but I don't want to comment on that.
Okay.
But I've got my own opinions on that, and I'm going to keep them to myself for now. But I'll not be bringing a tent. Put it that way. I'm going to be staying.
You know why you won't be bringing a tent? Because I'll be outside the tent pissing in. What's the old saying?
Isn't that right?
To be inside the tent pissing out
and outside the tent trying to piss in. Absolutely. And don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. That's it. If anyone hasn't seen the film The Outlaw Josie Wales, that is the most memorable quote out of that film. And it wasn't even Clint Eastwood that said it. It was... it's just If you've never seen that film, go and find The Outlaw Josie Wales. It's got to be on YouTube. You could probably watch it for about £2 or something. Absolutely one of the best westerns ever made. I love it.
June,
that's what I feel like. Sometimes I feel like Josie Wales, Paul. You know what I mean? We're taking them all on our own. You know what I mean, mate?
Nigel Farage, Trevor Kavanagh warned today that government are running scared of these protesters, and we are sleepwalking into an Islamic republic. He's spot on.
Absolutely right. And look, there you go. This is the thing, Paul. You know what annoys me, right? What annoys me is I've been telling people about this since, I'm not kidding, 1998 was the first time I spoke publicly about this. Stood against it in 1984. Because we've seen what's been going on, right? And, great that Trevor Kavanagh is now getting on board. But you see, 5 or 6 years ago, he'd have been condemning me and Tommy and everybody else.
Calling them all racist, Nigel Farage again, click a like if you are angry at the hijacking of our streets by foreign people who are telling us how to run our country. Thank you, mate. Yeah, hit a like button. And yeah, if you're angry at people hijacking our streets, give us a thumbs up. Appreciate that, mate. Really do.
And yeah.
Yam's physical catalogue of media. Good evening, my friend. Tommy needs to go to the JRE podcast.
Yeah.
Been in USA. What do you think of Tommy's work so far out in the States, Richard?
Mate, his work rate's been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, his feet just haven't... I've chatted to him a couple of times. His feet just haven't touched the ground. I mean, he's just been at it, full tilt. And, listen, I mean, what he's got is an opportunity of a lifetime. And he seems to be doing extremely well, Paul. It seems very well received. He is telling people exactly what's going on in our country. I think he's speaking to Congress soon. I think he's actually going to Congress to speak to Congress. So I mean, that's phenomenal, Paul. When you think he was in prison, like, when was it? Was it this year? It was last year? Was it last May? Last May. He got out in May last year. After all that time in solitary. So no, it's been absolutely phenomenal. And some of the stuff, I mean, mate, it's been a good advert for the US as well. I mean, he was in some steakhouse somewhere in Texas. You see that one, mate? The food in there was just. I was just thinking, oh man, I could put on a couple of stone there in an afternoon. Do
you know what, mate? The way I see it, right? The way I see it, he deserves it.
I'll be honest with you, Paul. See, if I was him, I'd be looking for political asylum.
Oh well, I think he should.
You know what?
Listen, I definitely think he should, because it's nothing.
He won't. He'll come back.
Oh yeah, he'll come back. But what I'm saying is, long term, right? He's better off out of this place, right? Because it's not just the authorities got it in for him. There's so many nutcases out there.
Yeah. No, there is, absolutely.
Personal safety and for his family. I think ultimately he needs to get out. And there's not much that he can't do from the States. He can do it back home. Apart from the rallies, obviously.
People are forgetting he had an ISIS death threat.
Yeah.
2 weeks before he went to the States, he was, he had to flee the country because of an ISIS death threat. Which is just, and again, Paul, when you think about that, right? Let's just think about that. One of our friends, right, someone who has taken a stand for this country for years, has had to flee the country because some grubby, vile, disgusting terror outfit from the Badlands of Afghanistan. I mean, ISIS-K are so bad, they even fight against the Taliban. That's how bad ISIS-K are. Some backward, goat-loving scumbags have stuck it on Tommy. And he's had to flee the country. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Don't be horrible about goats, Richard. I like goats. They're nice.
I wasn't getting at the goats, mate. It was just the ones that are over. It's the Afghans that are over familiar with goats that worry me, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I like a goat. We had a goat once. We did, honestly. We had a goat, and it kept butting me. Literally kept sticking the nut in. I got a bit fed up with it after a while, I'll be honest with you.
Did you turn it into a stew?
No, mate. No, the kids loved it, and it didn't. It liked the kids. It weren't so fond of me. Like my wife, it was just
don't know
me.
why, Paul.
I don't know why, but then he started to grow up, and he started nutting the kids as well. So he had to go. Nowhere nasty. We just took him to the farm, and we give him to a farm. But,
and he got him halal slaughtered, and he ended up in a curry.
No. There's no. But listen, mate, come on, mate. I tell you, you're the geezer that cheered when Bambi got killed. You are, aren't you?
Nope. It wasn't me. I'll tell you a story about. Do you know what? I went to the cinema. Do you remember the film Michael Collins?
Yeah.
About the Irish IRA guy in the 1920s, right? Great movie, actually. Really, really good movie. Liam Neeson played Michael Collins, right? So I went to see that film with my wife in Belfast. Now, obviously, my wife's from a loyalist Protestant background, right? So we went up to this cinema up in the centre of Belfast, right? And it was obviously a mixed crowd, right? And there was a part of the film where a police car got blown up in Belfast, right? Half the audience stood up and cheered, mate. Talk about a chill coming over the cinema. I was ready to do a fighting withdrawal. You know what I mean? I was going to go out swinging, and of course the wives went, "Calm down." But yeah, that's true. That's honestly true. People stood up and cheered when the police got blown up. That just shows you. And that was early 90s. Do you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
I've got one for you here, Rich. I'm going to put it up. I'll let you answer it because you're in a good mood this evening, so I'm going to see if I can change it.
Oh, mate, you just love it, don't you? Just
Ready?
Ryan, Rich. Shalom, my brother. Shalom.
I like this one, look.
Trump should arrest Armour for us. Mate, listen, I wish Mossad were paying me. Mossad, you've got my number. Give me a ring. I'll take checks or postal orders.
Mate, we've all had it. We've all been accused of taking money from Mossad, right? Mate, I've never even been offered a penny by Moss Brothers, let alone Mossad. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate. Moss side more like, you know what I mean?
More like Moss side, yeah. Oh dear. You can't play ball with a goat. No, you can't. No.
Well, there's some of those, I'm not going to say, some of the Afghans play, anyway, stop there, Richard. Anyway, stop.
I was going to say they play hide the sausage.
Now, Paul, don't lower the tone.
Tom Hardy has spoken up.
Has he good?
There's a lot of people.
Has Tom Hardy spoken up? That's really good. Because
really good,
do you know what?
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's a bit of a hard nut,
He should be the next. He should be James Bond.
He'd be a brilliant James Bond.
He'd be a brilliant James Bond.
Do you know what? Yeah, Tom Hardy's a geezer. Like, he really is. I think Tom Hardy's brilliant.
Yeah. Look, Julie says goats do that when they want a bit. That's true. Lucky Paul.
Where men are men and goats are nervous. Paul's backyard.
Yeah. Right, just a quick word. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to my wonderful mod Claire Bear this evening, who's been getting a bit of stick. But Claire, you're a brilliant girl. Stick with it. Thank you so much for all your help. And I can see you're in the chat there tonight, keeping everyone nice and polite. And so thank you so much, Claire. I told Claire the other week that if someone comes on and wants to abuse me, let them do it. Let them show themselves up. But she's been protecting me. She always does. Thank you so much, Claire. All the best to you. That's that one. What should we play this video, Richard?
Yeah. Well, probably best knock us out of the whole thing and just play it full screen. Now, guys, it's about 10 minutes long. It's a video I made, I suppose, probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Just after, well, maybe it's more actually, because it was just after the attacks that were going on in France, and after the to stick it on there, Paul. But you probably just need to drop us out so that people can see it properly, and then we can certainly comment on it and try and explain exactly what we think's going on in the country and why it's happening.
Right, here we go.
Oh yeah, Paul. Before we do that, mate,
yes.
If somebody could put in the chat what Tom Hardy's actually said and what he took a stand on, that'd be really good to know, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. I've got it here. Apparently, Tom Hardy said that Richard Inman's a real prick.
Oh, he's not far wrong, is he? I'm not going to argue with Tom Hardy. He's a hard get, isn't he? No sound there.
Say that America is Dar al-Harb. If we say that America is Dar al-Harb for who? For us Muslims in the West. America, for Muslims in America, this is Dar al-Harb for them. If you say that it is Dar al-Harb for them, then they are allowed to go and steal.
Richard, before we go any further, do you just want to explain to the audience so they know what they're watching, what this means?
Yeah, basically what this is about is this guy is an Islamic scholar. Now he is an Islamist. He's appeared quite recently on Five Pillars, which is an Islamist YouTube channel which does a lot of pro fundamentalist Muslim propaganda and is calling for Sharia law and all that sort of stuff. But this guy is one of the top scholars. And to set the context, and you'll see it as we go further on through the film, he's talking about the different states that there are for Muslims. So there's Dar al-Harb, which is house of war. Now, strictly speaking, any country that is not under Islamic domination can be house of war, unless the nation makes a treaty with the Muslims. And what this guy is actually saying is that the United Kingdom, he doesn't say it implicitly, sorry, he doesn't say it explicitly, he says it implicitly. And he's saying that the UK has made a treaty with the Muslims. And Paul, in fact, I don't know if we can just, in fact, we'll put it on at the end. There's a little explanation, but there's a little PDF explanation, because I think it's really important that people understand this.
Yeah.
So we are basically in a treaty state at the minute, according to this Muslim guy, okay? So we are not Dar al-Harb, we're not House of War, we're not House of Submission, because Islam hasn't taken over our country yet. We're in this little grey area, which is a treaty state. In other words, we let them do whatever they want, and they don't make war with us. It's pretty much what it means. Carry on.
Yeah, and none of the scholars said this, because there is a social contract between the person, the American, the Muslim American citizen, and the rest of the people. He cannot steal from them.
Obviously, these Muslims didn't get the memo.
Driver's side completely blown out. This was a very, very graphic shootout.
A body lying in the street, feet away. That black SUV riddled with bullets. One suspect still inside. As police run into position, single file up across the lawn.
Can someone say that it is Dar al-Harb so that you can pick the American ladies and have
just stop that there, Paul.
Sexual relationship with?
Now, I want to explain this bit here, because this is the justification that some of the grooming gangs have used for raping young white girls. They've said, we're in a house of war, we can take these women as concubines. And this guy goes into it, I think later on in the video, where he actually talks about Muslim scholars having discussions as to whether it was acceptable for Muslims to take women in the UK as concubines. And he said we had these discussions 30 years ago. Okay, now obviously, again, some of the Muslims obviously didn't get the memo, because a hell of a lot of them did take the women as sex slaves and treated them as concubines. And the fact that that is in Islamic theology, when people say it's nothing to do with Islam, the fact that they even had a discussion about this shows that there's a massive problem within that religion. Because this guy's not like, this guy isn't like a far out wacko. He's a pretty mainstream scholar for these people. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you'll see it when you carry on, but it's worth playing it so you can hear it out of his own mouth.
With them, and you deal with them as concubines or right hand position. No one can say this, and even if someone were to say this, we will say that this is madness. And I think you are discussing these things now that have been discussed in Britain 30 years ago.
Just think about that, Paul. Just stop that there again, Paul. 30 years ago, they were discussing whether, and this scholar said it's not acceptable in Britain as it is at the minute, okay? But obviously, if a different scholar gives a different position, that's when you can. The fact that this is even that they can even have a discussion about whether it's acceptable to take women as sex slaves in Britain 30 years ago tells you everything you need to know. But
and that's by his own admission.
By his own admission, yeah. So please carry on there, Paul. Yeah.
On Norway, you are 30 years backward. Okay, you need to spend 30 years in order to overcome these questions and to have the real debate that you need. Yeah, we finished these questions maybe 30 years ago. Seriously, I remember that this question was discussed. I'll tell you. When it was discussed in Britain, it was discussed in 1994, 1995. How many years is this? Huh? 17 years. Okay, 17 years, seriously. Because I remember that people send it, some brothers from Britain send it to me, and they wanted the answer of Sheikh ibn Jibreen. And Sheikh ibn Jibreen gave an answer for this. That, some people advocate that because we are in Dar al-Harb, we can go and take those women and have a relationship with them because they are the right-hand position and they are the concubines. Yeah? And this is madness.
Stop that again there, Paul, because this is really important that people understand this. So obviously this was going on in Britain, and imams or Muslims that are connected with these top scholars, I think this guy's from Al-Azhar University in Egypt, I think, got in touch with the scholars to say, we're doing this, we think we're in house of war, so we're actually taking these women as concubines. And they had to get a position from scholars like this man to tell them not to do it. Now, I'm sorry, I don't think you'll find that in Buddhism, I don't think you'll find it in Hinduism, I don't think you'll find it in Sikhism, I don't think you'll find it in Judaism, you certainly won't find it in Christianity. So let's get real here. There is a very, very serious problem that our country's facing with radical Islam.
Well, I wonder if I'll run up the local vicar back in Brighton and said, I'm out in Spain, right, and I'm thinking of taking a few Spanish women concubine. He'd say, it's unbelievable.
I'm laughing. It's not funny, but I'm laughing because it's so crazy.
Exactly.
It's so crazy, and that is what we're up against. That's what we're up against. And so carry on with the video. There's only a couple more minutes left, but people need to see this to understand what's going on.
This is Dar al-Harb. Yeah, if we say that this is Dar al-Harb. So the question or the issue of Dar al-Harb and Dar al-Islam is very, in many cases, is very, very irrelevant to our discussion. Again, in Dar al-Harb, you cannot pray in Jama'ah. Can you? You can't pray in Jama'ah. Which is Dar al-Harb that allows you to pray in Jama'ah? Okay, safely, peacefully. Yeah, you can't. And there are many other things that we practice in countries who are involved in maybe war against some Muslim countries. Yeah, and the matter is not that simple. The matter is not black and white.
And that's I think I can't remember whether it's from the Quran or the Hadith, but that basically that was sanction given by Muhammad for rape of women that were taken as the right hand possession, which means they've gone in and conquered the land. And so this is why this is important, Paul, because at the minute, if we're in this, and I'll pop this up on the screen just so people can see it. If you could pop that the PDF up there. Okay. So at the minute, the UK is in what's called the treaty state, or the abode of truce, or the abode of covenant, Dar al-Sul or Dar al-Ahad, right? So that's what the UK is in at the minute, because our cowardly, pathetic, snivelling governments are giving them everything they want, because they know, Paul, if they don't give them everything they want, and let's just have a look at some of the, I'm not sure if we got it, we probably haven't got it on this slide, but basically what it means is they can practice their religion, they can pretty much do what they want, they can build mosques, they can have Sharia courts, they can do their own thing. Now, do you ever wonder why no government's ever pushed back against them? Quite apart from votes, obviously they're getting votes for them, and that it all works very, very nicely. If you push back against what these Islamists have got in our country now,
it's kick-off time.
It's Dar al-Harb. We go from Dar al-Sul, the house of treaty, the abode of treaty, to the abode of war. And the government knows that. And the government is far too cowardly to stand up to them. But what we need to actually deal with this, we need a Winston Churchill. People are saying we need a Trump. Yeah, maybe it's a Trump. But we need someone that's like Trump or Churchill, who has the fortitude and the strength to say, do you know what? This is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We're going to stand against this. We're not going to allow Sharia courts anymore. We're going to ban halal food. We're going to ban the burqa. We're going to ban the building of any more mosques. We're going to demolish any mosques that are preaching hate. We're going to deport the hate preachers. We're going to deport every single Muslim that comes to this country illegally. We're just going to find them, track them down and get them out. As soon as we start doing that as a state and as a country, and by the way, we have to do it. I'm not saying don't do it. We absolutely must take these steps. But what we've got to understand, Paul, is there is going to be a massive kickback.
Yeah.
But, what I would say to the British government is this. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a kickback from, I don't know, maybe it's 1 million, 2 million crazed Muslims, or 50 odd million Brits who are just going to sooner or later go absolutely off the reservation? The government's got to make a decision. The government's got to make a decision. And what police do, Paul, in these situations is they look at who can put the biggest numbers on the streets. And the people who get the biggest crowd out win. Okay? So, but this needs to happen quickly. We need to get a resolution of this. We need to, if you've got a cancer growing in your stomach, Paul, you want the surgeon to come in and not cut out anything that's not cancer. So in other words, we're not going after people because of the colour of the skin, but people who are Islamists, who are here not to take part but to take over, they need to be surgically removed from the country and sent back to wherever they came from. And if you have to go back 2 or 3 generations, so be it. Because the threat to our country is just so great now. And the radicalisation, as we saw, is getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I think it's very, very clear to anyone with a set of eyes. Tish Green, thank you very much, Tish. Will Rupert Lowe be invited to the United Kingdom March?
I think he has. I don't know. I would imagine so. I mean, to me, every single right-wing political party should be invited. And I would include people like Nick Timothy, Claire Coutinho, Suella Braverman, Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib, Nick Tenconi. I would like to see all those politicians standing together on a united front. Because I think, look, everybody knows my reservations about what's happened in the last few weeks. And I believe I've got very good cause for what I believe. I'm not going to get into it because we're still dealing with the fallout from that. But I still stand by absolutely everything I said. But here's the thing. I've said what I've said. We've got to find a way of getting people together now. Because the only way we're going to save this country is by making sure that at the next election we have a right-wing government. Now, I don't believe that any one party will be strong enough at the next general election to win a big enough majority to storm the Bastille, so to speak, to take over government. There's not going to be one single party. There's not enough time. So what's got to happen is there's got to be a genuine council of war where leaders of all these political organisations on the right come together and say, right, okay, right-wing conservatives, Reform, UKIP, Advance, Restore, all get together and say, this is what needs to be done. I think that's the only way it's going to work, Paul.
Can you imagine the reaction of the crowd if, towards the end of the day, Tommy was able to call from the back of the stage Nick Tenconi, Ben Habib, Rupert Lowe, and even Nigel Farage.
Or even, if Nigel's too sniffy to be there, you know what Nigel's like, but somebody from, Suella, get Suella on there. Get Nick Timothy from the Conservative Party, because Nick Timothy believes all this. So
can you imagine the reaction from the crowd, Richard, and what a boost that will give to the nation?
This is the whole point. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I still believe the pledge is vitally important. I'm not going to go into it, but I've been in contact with people in loads of different parties, as you have, Paul. Some at senior levels, some at very senior levels, right? So the connections are already there. There's plenty of people can connect these people together and bring them together. So it just needs to happen, doesn't it, Paul? It needs to happen.
This is what I want.
And that's why the marches are important, and that's why the pledge is important.
This is what I want the viewers to know, is that, me and you have been doing this now together for a couple of years, where we've been trying to bring people together. If people only knew what we've tried to do.
Paul, I've been doing it since
I
2017.
know you have, Richard. I know.
I'm gonna blow my own trumpet, right? Because nobody else blows it, right? So I'm gonna
Don't
say
talk about blowing, Richard. Don't start me off.
that's you, Paul. That's you. I saw your face when I said that, mate. And I thought, why did I even utter those words? Okay. Try to make a serious point here, mate. Do you know, I've forgotten what I was going to say now, mate. You can't distract an
You
old
was
man
going
with
to
that
give
sort of
yourself a
stuff.
blow.
No, I wasn't. Paul. Behave yourself. My goodness.
You was going to blow your own trumpet.
Okay,
Go
yes.
on.
2017, right? I put the UKIP deal together, right? So that's how far back this goes, where we got UKIP and the veterans and the football lads all joined together, and the whole point was get Gerard Batten, and we managed to do that. Get Tommy into the party, and it just blew their when we tried to get Tommy into the party, it blew the gaskets, it blew the doors off UKIP. They couldn't handle it, and it all fell apart. And Gerard, lost his position, and it was just chaos. Now, different people have different takes, and I know what happened. I think a certain person that's now very senior in reform had a lot to do with it falling apart. In fact, I know he did, because I've got the videos of him making speeches against the football lads and against the veterans, but the reason I'm saying that is we've been working at this a long time. So when I get frustrated and angry about stuff that I think's going to have the opposite effect to what we need, which is bringing people together to win our country back, I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologise for being like that, because I know the amount of work I've done. I know the amount of work Paul's done. I know the amount of work people in advance have done. I know it, Nick Tenconi. Do you know what? I've got a lot more respect for Nick Tenconi than I had 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Because Nick, when he went on Dan Wotton's show, called it out exactly as it was. And we need to keep doing that. Not to cause division, but there's things that need to be said and need to be sorted out, right? Because the only way that we're going to defeat these scumbags that are trying to destroy our country, and I'm talking about the communists, the globalists, and the Islamists, that unholy trinity of those three demonic powers, communism, globalism, and Islamism, the only way we're going to defeat that is by coming together on the right and finding a way of bringing unity. And you can't do it on the extremes. You've got to bring, and this is why I said I got absolutely slaughtered doing a video talking about what Ian Paisley said to me. Now, Ian Paisley was a very seasoned political operator. Ian Paisley said to me when he went into power sharing with Martin McGuinness, because I went to challenge him about it. I went to stick it on him and say, what are you doing, Ian? Doing this? It's ridiculous. And he very calmly went into a back room in his church with a couple of other elders, and he said, this is why I did it. And I was a nobody. I was just a necky git going at them, slapping at Ian Paisley. But he was very gracious. He says, Richard, you can't fight against the centre. And what he meant by that it wasn't like liberal, middle of the road politics. What he meant was when the centre of gravity moves, you've got to go where that centre of gravity moves to. And at the minute, I think where advance is pitched and where the pledge is pitched is just about the sweet spot for that centre of gravity. I think you can go too far to the right, you can go too far to the left. We need to be in that sweet spot, which is saying we love our country, we want everyone to come together that's against these three things, against communism, against globalism, against Islamism. Bring those people together, and then
we have to be honest, Richard. We have to be honest. At this moment in time, it's reform that have got that balance.
They haven't.
Well,
I think they're too far to the left.
I mean they are, Richard, but not as far as the vote's concerned. The voters out there, they've still got massive support.
But they're dropping. They're dropping, Paul, and that's why what we need to do is bring everyone together. That's what I'm saying. There's a great question coming up. Let me just get through these. Charlie, hey Paul. Good evening. Hope you're well. Thank you very much, Charlie. Great question from Michael. I'm sorry, but I just can't get past Rupert, Ben, Nigel, and all the rest not getting together. If we lose in 2029, I will blame those three. I would blame. I mean, look, I got my own opinions on it, but I mean. It's down to all of us to work to make sure that there is some sort of coming together, and that's very, very, if we and really if we don't do that, then all the marches and everything we've done is for nothing, and there's a lot of work to do between now and then to get a really strong, and I think we can do it by building individual parties, Paul. I mean, I met today with the new regional director for Northern Ireland, fantastic lady, military veteran. She was in the Special Forces flight, so she's, kind of Special Forces trained, just an incredible individual, and she's taken up the baton for advancing in Northern Ireland. She's the regional director, and she's going to be, running around every community that she can get into and speak to build branches and build a party structure in Northern Ireland. So if anyone thinks that there's nothing going on, or we just sit around twiddling our thumbs, I was laughing the other day, Paul. Right, I did a video, right, and people call us grifters and say that we grab loads of money off people, right? So I took. Maybe I'm just rubbish at this, right? But I took 3 hours chopping videos up, right? This was for one of my morning shows, right? I thought, because I did a morning show about a week and a half ago, my mate got in touch with me. He said, "That was crap, Richard." He said, "Your hair wasn't even brushed. I don't think you cleaned your teeth, and you didn't even know what you're talking about. You're just out of bed, weren't you?" I went, "Yeah, pretty much, right?" So anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to show him. So I started doing my morning shows, clipping all the videos. You know yourself, Paul. It took me 3 hours to clip the videos up, to find the videos, download them, clip them up, watch the flipping things, because you got to watch them so you know what you're talking about. And then it took me an hour and a quarter to do the show, right? I'm not complaining, because I do this for nothing anyway, mate. Do you know what I got? Do you know what I got revenue from that video?
Go on.
£5.
As much as that?
£5, mate. It was £1 an hour. It was.
Grifter.
I'd have made more money making t-shirts in Bangladesh. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Ian Nicholson, another one of my fantastic mods and a great friend. I just act to go. Go on, Ian. Philip, thank you, Philip. It seems to me so many people have got blinkers on. I wish they would take them off and see the truth. Then these marches would be in their billions.
There you go. There's my blinkers off. I can see everything now.
Sky of John, cheers. Paul,
that's it, Sharon. Even Sharon Ray's calling me a grifter now, Paul. Put that one on the screen, Sharon.
Sky of John, Paul, did you see the joke on Tuesday yesterday? Israel has been selling the IRGC landmines disguised as prayer that.
Oh, you see, that's one of our Mossad jokes, Paul. You shouldn't have put that up there, mate.
Julie, thank you, Julie. What will it take to wake the country up enough? God knows, man, Julie. God knows. Sharp bite. Bradford writes is what you get. That's
way worse, guys. Yeah. I mean, if we do what we need to do, this is the thing. People have got to buckle up, Paul, because if any government has the balls to do what needs to be done, believe you me. It's going to be messy. It's going to be messy.
Good boy says, Dino Bain said yours and Rich's name two racists.
Said yours and Rich's
names. Not quite sure what you mean.
I know. I don't know.
No.
Clarify that, Gibby. I can't work that one out, brother.
Claire Bear, thank you, darling. No need for that, Claire, but thank you so much. Paul, thank you for your kind words, but could you also say thank you to all of Paul and Richard's mods? We are a lovely team and support each other.
Brilliant
with
people.
The granddad of mods, Mr. Ian Nicholson. Thank you, Claire. All my mods are fantastic, but we had a little chat earlier on, and I always feel a bit protective towards you, Claire. Ian can look after himself. Don't worry about that. Sharon, thank you, Sharon. I will email Nick Timothy and suggest the 16th of May.
Yeah.
Well done, Sharon.
Yep.
Let's just get back in the regular chat, see if we can get what we can get there. Tom says, let's all get behind Restore Britain and get our country back. Gaelic Grace says, I think the guest was implying that your names have been forwarded to racists.
Well,
possibly.
And what? Thanks for that, Gaelic, but I mean, we've had death threats and all sorts the last few weeks, and I just delete them. Okay, another death threat. There you go.
Where are we? Yes, it's a great team of mods. Yeah, I mean, I collect death threats, Rich.
Yeah.
I collect them.
Well, I just delete them. I don't even give them the time to collect them. I just delete them. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I collect them.
You keep them as evidence.
I keep them, yeah. Where are we? Farage is already bought and paid for. We don't need anything from him. Exactly. I agree.
I know. I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem. I'll be honest with you, Paul. My problem is my trustometer is at a very, very low ebb. I trust very, very few people. And the amount of people that actually, I'm going to say it, Paul, the amount of people that turned on us, right? Not a lot, but there were some people that I was very surprised at that turned and are no longer walking in the same paths that we're walking in, which was quite a bit of a shock. So there's one guy been with me from the beginning and he's gone now. Can't do anything about it. It is what it is. Very sad.
And I think there's no need for it as well.
No, there's no need for it whatsoever. Look, the thing is, Paul, the whole point is, right, on the right, we're meant to be all about freedom of speech. Well, that went somewhere, south of the river, didn't it, over the last couple of weeks? Hey, freedom of speech. Oh, you've got freedom of speech until you start criticising this fella, and then then you're in for a world of pain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Charlie says, "Thank you, Charlie. Richard, Reform are in the best place to win. Make sure we get our right-wing government in. Then everyone can unite behind advance. Don't split the vote."
Well, I'm accused of splitting the vote all the time, Charlie. So, I mean, all I'm saying is people need to get together, because not everybody's going to join Reform or vote Reform because there is a lot of scepticism and mistrust of Reform. And I think it's understandable because of the way that certain people in Reform have spoke about other people. So there's got to be a way of getting everybody together. I'm not trying to split the vote. In fact, what I'm doing is quite the opposite. I'm saying we need to find a way of bringing this movement together under one voting block that can actually win. Now, that's a massive job. And it's going to be very difficult to do because of ego, because of,
the best thing, if Nigel Farage loves the country as much as he says he does, the best thing that he could do. What do you think the best thing he could do?
Pick up the phone to Ben and Rupert.
Exactly.
That's the best thing he can do.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
And, if he did that and showed a little bit of humility, and I mean, who knows? But again, it's down to everybody showing humility. If Nigel did that,
it's down to those. Any Reform members watching tonight. Why don't you email Reform HQ and say we want Rupert and Ben back in the party?
Yeah, because can you imagine if you imagine, Paul, right? If Ben and Rupert and Nick and all the smaller parties, the SDP, the whole lot said, okay, boom, let's get William Colston. I mean, he is one of the most underrated politicians. The guy that used to be leader of UKIP, he's come on great guns. I can't remember his name now. Henry Bolton. There's a lot of get David Rhodes involved. Now again, obviously this is heresy for someone that's a member of Advance and is going to stay a member of Advance. But the point is, if there was a way to bring everyone together, right, and bring everyone together in unity, where all the egos were put down, and they gathered together around a set of policies, a set of, an ideology that got rid of the Steve Laws types, got rid of the lefty types on the other extreme, and got that sweet spot, Paul. If Nigel and Ben and Rupert and Nick Tenconi and all these other guys could come together, I think that would be an amazing thing. Yeah. And do you know what? Well, it would scare the
living daylights out of everyone.
The establishment. And that's what I keep going back to. That's what the pledge is for, Paul.
Exactly. How about this, boys? Anyone watching this? Rupert, Nigel, I won't say Ben because I know what Ben wants to do. Nick, how about giving us a pie that we can all join and we can all vote for?
Yeah.
Very good friend of mine has just messaged me. He says, I know I was critical of Richard Inman a few weeks ago, but tonight he's been bang on the money.
Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. That's very kind words. And, I haven't really changed what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's slightly different. I was very angry a couple of weeks ago, Paul, because I just thought, we had such an amazing thing going with Advance. And,
Richard,
and I just
you know what it was? I'll tell you what it was, right? I felt the same. It was, we saw our chance of unity go up in smoke. Yeah. And that is what upset us, because we want to unify, we want to win.
And then we got blamed for it. I mean, I don't listen, guys. Just I do not have superpowers. I am not this Machiavellian puppet master. I'm really not. My gob's far too big for that, right? I'm just a guy that knows that we need to save our country. That's it. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if Reform does it, if Advance does it, if Restore. I don't care. I don't care. I just want it saved.
And I don't care who the leader is, as long as it's done.
And it's got to be country before party all the time.
Yeah.
So if people are getting upset with me criticising things that were going on in Restore, it wasn't an attack on Rupert or people that joined Restore. I was just going, okay, I don't really like this. I don't like what these guys are saying.
Richard, to me, the bottom line is this: anyone that refuses to unite is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nigel Farage just refused to unite. Is a problem.
Absolutely.
And I'll stick to my guns. Anyone that refuses to unite, because without unification we won't win.
Yeah.
Therefore, that makes them a problem.
Absolutely.
Nicola, any chance of Katie Lamb speaking on the 16th of May?
Again,
I think you got more chance of Larry Lamb speaking.
I think Katie Lamb's quite good. I think she's the conservative. But here's the thing. I mean, I've got to say, I get involved in doing police liaison and that sort of thing. I don't decide who goes on the platform. That's way above my pay grade. So, but I think those suggestions are actually good suggestions for Tommy. I mean, obviously he's out in the States at the minute. I don't know who he's got coming or not coming. But I would like to see it a bit more British than the last event, to be honest with you.
I think so, yeah.
I'd like to see more British speakers than I'm not really interested in Maoris coming from New Zealand to speak at our events. Just been honest. That's just the way I feel. That's going to get me another attack, isn't it? That's another backlash will be coming. You'll
have some gangs off.
I was just going to say I'll have some boys in black leather standing on my doorstep doing a hacker at midnight. You know what I mean? Well, that happens every week anyway. But that's another story. But
Richard, that's Keir Starmer, not you, mate. Charlie says Paul knows I want unity too. Charlie's a good lad. He speaks a lot of sense. But if the public can't unite, we can't expect these leaders to unite. We need to show them we want unity.
I agree, Charlie. I agree with that. But do you know what, Charlie? Do you know what I think? I think leaders need to be leaders and they need to show leadership.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what this is about. If Rupert and Ben and Nigel and, like I say, the rump of the Conservative Party that is still decent, and there are still decent Tory MPs. This is the other thing, Paul. We all get so tunnel vision. We go, oh, all the Tories are bad. Well, actually, Nick Timothy doesn't seem bad. And I'm saying that this is a guy that was actually an advisor to Theresa May, but he's had some sort of Damascene experience. He's a convert. He believes what we believe. If you listen to his rhetoric, and he's putting his life at risk doing this, Paul. He's an MP that is taking a very, very hardline stance against Islamism, against the blasphemy laws, against the abolition of the jury trials. He's really going at it, and I've got a lot of respect for him. I've got a lot of respect for Claire Coutinho. I think Larry Lamb's younger sister's quite good as well, but apparently. But no, do you know what, Charlie? We want everyone to unite, and I think we can do it. I think the
thing is, if I can just say this, I think the thing is, Charlie, is that leaders lead men and men follow leaders, not just men and women, but people follow leaders, right? And what we need is a leader that is, I think, I'm going to go back to one of my stupid football analogies now, but if you look at all the best football teams, the manager has the ability to build a team and get that team playing for him and for the club. And what we need is a leader that's capable of managing a team, managing a club, getting everyone together, all singing from the same song sheet to win.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no prizes for coming second in this game, I'll tell you that now.
No, we can't afford to lose. And you talk about the football analogy, Paul. I mean, do you remember that Champions League match where Gerrard literally grabbed Liverpool by the you-know-whats, and I think they were 3-0 down. They went on to win 4-3. Do you remember that?
4-3, yeah.
Now Ant Middleton, Tommy Robinson, right? They're the sort of men that can do that, right? If they want to, right? So, Tommy is an inspirational leader, right? Whether you like Tommy or not, it's not the issue. Tommy can lead people, and Tommy knows how to turn things round in a heartbeat, right? Ant Middleton, I believe, is the same, right? So if you had, even if it's not the political leaders, if those guys are coming at it and saying, right, we want everybody to come together. We want everybody on the right to come together. And that becomes the mantra.
You know, if they had any sense, they'd all get together, Nigel, Ben, Rupert, Nick, they'd all get together and they'd be getting people like Tommy and people like Ant and saying, right, you get out there and get everyone organised. You get all the people, you know, all the working class boys and girls, you get them on board. We'll get these people on board. We'll get the middle class on board. Rupert can get the business people on board. Or we act as a team.
And you know, somebody put in the comments Douglas Murray and David Starkey, you know, and you know
Douglas Murray disappoints me in some ways. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, Douglas talks a great game. He is so fantastically well versed. He's super well educated. But I'm afraid I've got to say this, right? What else does he do? You know, what else does he do? I mean, come on, you know, let's see him on the stage on the 16th. Let's see him join in the political party. Come on.
I think Douglas, you're never going to see him on a platform because he's got an aversion to street movements. He's always been terrified of street movements. But I think Douglas Murray. Don't
get me wrong. Again, I like him. Of course, I like him.
I met Douglas Murray years ago in Belfast when he published the book Strange Death of Europe. I went up to the launch of it. And met him and spoke to him, and a very, very nice, gracious, you know, well-mannered, total gentleman, just a total gentleman. And, you know, he was fighting this fight a long time. He probably started about the same time as Tommy. Maybe he's a bit before, actually, you know, because a lot of those guys started after 9/11. Mark Stein was another one. And those guys carried this baton for a lot of years and they got a lot of flack from it. Ruined their careers to a great extent.
Yeah, no, maybe I was unfair what I said a minute ago. Well, I think he's capable of more because he's so well educated and he's so well spoken, he's so well versed.
But if you get, I mean,
he could give a lot more, couldn't he?
If we, and again, it's not down to us to do it, Paul. I mean, I'm pretty much like I say. I think the next demo is going to be my swan song. I'm gonna hang up the boots. But I think we've done enough, really, to be honest with you. But if something is built, and it brings all these people together, you know, and there is this sense of unity where people go, we're going to have to do it for this. We're going to have to put all our differences aside and we're going to have to fight this together. If that happens, then, you know, we're going to be in a position where the likes of Douglas Murray, David Starkey, all these people will just build it. You know, what's it, the old thing, Field of Dreams, build it and they'll come. Yeah. You know, and I think that's very much the case. But
Claire Bear has put the link for the pledge in there. Thank you very much, Claire. And Julie says, this is not going to end well, whichever side wins. Charlie, one Britain, one country, one heartbeat all together. Agree, Charlie?
Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. You know.
And our good friend Linford, if we lose, it's because people haven't come out to vote. Regards, Linford, Paul and Richard, amazing work you both do. True gentlemen and patriots.
Oh, that's appreciated because believe you me, we've been in the crosshairs for the last few weeks.
Linford, I can tell you one thing. Richard is definitely a patriot. I'm not sure.
Behave yourself, Paul.
He's definitely a patriot. The gentleman. Well, that's the thing.
I'm not a gentleman. I'm not. I've always said that. I'm not. I'm just a street guy. I'm not a gentleman. I don't pretend to be a gentleman. You know, I'm a rough man. That's what it is. You know, it is what it is. But you see, and some people, you know, when the mask slips and the real Richard comes out, it's not very pleasant. That's all there is to it. You know?
Right, Richard, we've subjected our audience to an hour and a half almost.
That flew in, mate. That flew in.
It did flew. It
Loved
did
it.
fly. Let's have a little look.
Hope everyone enjoyed it.
Let me just... good evening, Tina and Jenny. Paul, I think they will vote this time because of the importance of it. Oh, and let's end with this one, John. Let's hope they do. Let's hope they do. John says, God bless...
Yeah,
the Unite the Kingdom. I think we'll end on that. Is an absolute cracker to
superb
to end on. thank you so much for joining us again tonight. Really appreciate it. I enjoyed that one tonight, Richard.
I
Good
did. Paul,
show.
I might dive on and do a little Bible thing at 11.
Why not?
Get
Why-
a cup of tea. I'll maybe dive on. So if anyone's watching, you might get a notification. Depends on how tired I get when I make my cup of tea. But I'll try and dive on in about.
So
half an
if
hour's
you
time.
if you've not had enough tonight, Richard might be popping on later on. He's not quite worn himself out yet.
It's we've had the sequel, we've had the first episode, we've had the sequel, we'll have the prequel at 11 o'clock.
Richard, thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone
Yeah.
at home for joining us tonight. Wherever you are across the world, have a really good night's sleep. Stay
Paul,
safe.
before you go, mate, before you go,
Yes.
what's this lady's name? Oh, she disappeared. One of the ladies put, Paul has so much charisma.
Is that right?
Yeah. And my daughter said you're a
Thank you
very
so
attractive.
much.
My daughter said you're a very attractive man,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
mate. She's got a white stick.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell me 7 and I off next week. Get out of there.
She's blurred vision.
See you later, everyone. Take care.
Take it easy.
All the best.